Hello students. Good afternoon.
In this secondary school, an English teacher experiments with different types of informal assessment with his large class.
Today we are going to know structure of sentence. Sentence का ढांचा भी हम लोग समझेंगे. And direct and indirect objects. Okay? Understand? Yes, sir.
The teacher explains that at the end of the lesson, he will request anonymous feedback on whether his students have understood the lesson. This is a way for students to evaluate their own learning.
हमें क्या क्या समझ में आ गया? तीसरा क्या लिखेंगे? पूरी तरह से समझ नहीं पाए. बिना नाम लिखे जब आपका ये क्लास खत्म हो जाएगा तो इस डिब्बे में डालेंगे. ये तुम्हारी परीक्षा ही नहीं है बल्कि क्या है, हमारी भी परीक्षा कि हम समझा पा रहे हैं, आप समझ पा रहे हैं या नहीं.
Earlier in the lesson, the students made 2 cards, one with a tick on and one with a cross on. The teacher tells his students to hold up a tick if they think the answer is right and a cross if they think it's wrong. In this way, by looking around the class, he can quickly check their understanding. If all his students can see the cards, they can compare their answers with those of their peers.
Mohan is a subject, verbs drives verbs, car object.
Right. Mostly students showing card right.
My subject my father.
My father.
My
Yeah.
father. Verb sir or sold to sir his car sir object.
Is he right or wrong?
Next, the students do a language drill on direct and indirect objects in English. They are divided into groups and given cards with the words they should use to form sentences. Notice how the teacher uses Hindi to encourage his students' use of English and monitors them to check their understanding and participation.
एक लड़का लिखेगा, 2 लोग जो हैं उसको यदि गलत है तो उसको सही करेंगे.
नहीं हुआ. एक
Some subject does draws verb are pictures object. Sita subject, bought me verb address object.
पहले जो हमने ये क्वेश्चंस दिए थे, इसका आंसर आप लिखिए.
Now, it's time for the students to give their anonymous feedback. The teacher will use this to plan his next English lessons.
लिखा तो आंसर तो लिखिए. Up into this box and go silently one by one. Structure of sentence और direct and indirect, ये मैं मानता हूँ कि उसको जो
According to my assessment, 70 to 75% of my students have understood the key learning points of the lesson.
लगभग वैसा ही है. थोड़ा सा जो हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे थे कि
My students' feedback is roughly what I expected.
बताएंगे वो पूरे बच्चे समझ जाएंगे. वैसे अधिकांश
Although most of my students have understood how to use direct and indirect objects in English, 20 to 25% have said they have a problem with understanding this.
इसमें हम पहले तो ये देखेंगे जो चीज़ नहीं समझ में आया है उसको थोड़ा सा हम अपने टीचिंग
I will try to help them understand by modifying my teaching and incorporating more guidance on this in my next lesson.
इसी तरह का रखेंगे.
The teacher used forms of assessment that were not inhibiting or embarrassing to his students. How could you use ideas like these to encourage your students to assess their learning in your lessons?